I guess one of the bigger and best matchups of the weekend, Miami at Texas A&M. A Texas A&M team that was undefeated until the very last week of the season, and a Miami team that after not getting in last year, finally makes it to the college football playoff. So Vance, I know you were doing some kind of praise dance once you saw that Miami made it. How are you feeling for this first round matchup, man?
Man, nah, I had text y'all right beforehand. Like FanDuel, for some reason, already had it as Notre Dame versus Texas A&M. I was already sad as hell just looking at the screen, bro. But with that being said, I think it's gonna be a very even matchup, and it's gonna come down to a quarterback duel. The games Miami lost this season were because of Carson Beck. He did some stupid shit. But the games that they won, he played very well. He got it to his weapons, and home D. Like it was cool. We won our games comfortably every single time. Do I trust him to go into Kyle Field and have a solid game? It's literally 50-50. It's flip a coin, however he's feeling that day, man. And I'm gonna say yes, just I hate to say like how TJ Phil saying yuck about Alabama. I feel yuck about Carson Beck as my quarterback, bro. But hey, we gonna go in there. We're gonna see what happens. That's literally gonna be the difference. When you think of weapons, you have Malachi Tony versus KC Concepcion. And so uh, defense, both defenses are really good. I feel as if trench play, like I said, trench play is going to be important. I think it's pretty even on both sides. Y'all saw the Texas A&M O lineman
That's
talking
what I was
shit,
finna
talking.
say. I don't think it's even just because he said that, bro.
Yeah, listen. Hey, if you want to give us the bulletin board material, listen,
Yeah.
we'll take it. And so we're gonna need it going into this. Like you said, going back to what TJ said once again, Oregon. You go to Oregon. You don't want to go down there to Kyle Field. That's probably the hardest field to play on. And so, with that to be said,
100,000.
it's it's just gonna depend on Carson Beck, bro. Can he get it to his weapons? Is he hitting the time and throws? Are they moving the sticks? Are they moving the chains? Or are they just gonna keep giving the ball to A&M to get drives? As long as we avoid three and outs, we're gonna be okay. But I believe Miami can go in there and get a 3-point victory, get a walk-off field goal or something like that.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. I disagree. I disagree. Not necessarily disagree with the fact that Carson Beck, if he hoops, that y'all can come out with a victory. I just think that the likelihood of that happening, even as you a known Carson Beck downer, I would not put it at 50-50. I'd probably put it at 30-70. The discussion that we just had around the Oklahoma defense, being able to, like I said, the rushes that they got with R. Mason Thomas, Miami had a Ruben Bain. We see your Ruben Bain with a Cassius Howe. So they'll be able to consistently create pressure even without having the blitz. But honestly, watching this Texas A&M defense, I think one of the biggest strength of their defense is their secondary. And then with a Miami offense that is really, at least weapon wise, it's really Malachi Tony or bust. There's just a
Okay.
lot of pressure to really put on a true freshman in this type of scenario. This ain't SMU. We got Willie. They're gonna run a lot of man coverage. So Willie, Dez Riggs, I think a combination of being able to generate pass rush pressure with Ford and the secondary that they have, we're gonna, Carson Baker's gonna be put up a serious predicament in terms of gonna be cat coverage. You got that guy. You got that guy. Can you're relying on a teenager to separate in a college football playoff game, and he probably for the most of the game won't have more than three, 3.5 seconds to really get the ball out. So the one thing I'll say, out of all these college football teams, Texas A&M has probably the worst performance out of all this. That first half against South Carolina, so it's definitely not in the bag. But just looking at, you know, like I said, throwing that out, not throwing it out, but like with you can't throw out one half and then have ignore the 9 games before A&M, before that. To me, I said it
Especially a
before,
half of a game in which they won, bro.
exactly. But like I said, in terms of like, this ain't a series. This is only 60 minutes of football. So they come out looking like that, they're gonna lose. But I thought that they were probably the most complete team in the country through most of the season. And I think that the one-dimensional nature of Miami's offense, I think, kind of plays to the hands of what Texas A&M can limit on defense.
And y'all might call me a little bit of an SEC homer or whatever, but I alluded to this earlier, Vance, when you said when we were talking about trench play, for Trey Zoon to come out and say that I haven't had a chance to watch the film yet, but I don't think we need to worry about Ruben Bain. The reason he said that is because he sees Ruben Bain week after week after week going through the SEC, and so looking at that, that's why I have so much faith in Texas A&M to be victorious in this game on Saturday, an 11 a.m. kickoff at Kyle Field, like Josh alluded to, with a Mike Elko coach defense that was second in the nation in sacks. Carson Beck is gonna have one hell of a day, and I mean hell as in his white Miami pants might be brown by the end of it because he is going to shit himself all over that field, man. So I just think you made a very good point talking about Craver. Uh oh shit. You made a very good point talking about
Oh
Tony
wow.
versus Conception, but there's also Mario Craver and also that run game which Texas A&M relies heavily on, and I think that run game will lead to Marcel Reed being successful and opening up opportunities for Conception and Craver in the passing game. And I just don't see Carson Beck having that same support to be as successful against this vaunted Texas A&M defense. But with TJ's outfit change, I think he has another idea.
TJ
I'm sorry.
Corso.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm listening. If you weren't done.
Take the 4, brother. You obviously repping the flying Ja'Cory Harris is over there, so go crazy.
Well, now that we've gotten all the solid football analysis out the way, I think I'll do the hating for the group. So, Nick, you said something that kind of set off my antenna. You said A&M was 11, and you said they were undefeated until a week ago.
Yeah.
All right, let me give a somewhat, let's call it lukewarm take, maybe a little bit simmering. I think A&M is closer to 9-3 than 11-1. Now, hear me out. So we talked about the South Carolina game, epic collapse, 30 skunk, something that what's interesting about that game is something that we never saw coming, and then we saw something that we kind of saw coming. It was like, all right, once A&M scored on that first drive, it was like, all right, yeah, South Carolina's about to lose. But then in the first half, when we saw South Carolina go up by 30, damn, A&M about to lose. So it was a weird momentum swing in that game. But we didn't talk about the fact that they went down 30 points to what do we think about soccer? They saw
A bad
bad.
SEC team. A bad SEC team.
Okay,
Sure.
all right. Now, a bad SEC team, as a SEC homer, some would say Glazer, is probably worth a little bit more than a bad Big Ten ACC team. No disrespect to anyone's conference, but a team that no one thinks is any good. What we haven't mentioned is an Arkansas team with a Swiss cheese defense. It probably doesn't even begin to consider what they really are. Was that a 1-point game? 2-point game? 40 points to Arkansas?
Yeah, it was 3. It was a field goal game, 45-42.
Yeah, all right. So we got South Carolina, Arkansas. We're not exactly
giving it out. Oh God.
Yeah. We're not like yeah. What's the song say? Yeah, all right. We're not exactly lighting it up. Okay, so there's another game. Now I know how this game turned out, so I'm going to be very careful in mentioning said game because it ended up in a shit show. But they were also getting some of the work the first half of the LSU game. Yes, there was an epic collapse and the destruction of a program. None of that is that all that's here. None of that's here now. Anyway, I don't know. This is not astute football analysis. It's just something ain't right. And then when that pick'em came out, this was the episode before the championship week, and I said they were gonna lose. There was nothing you could have told me to tell me they were not gonna lose to Texas. I didn't need to say anything football related about it. Anything, trench play, DBs.
That's big bro. That's big bro. That's definitively right, okay. Big bro.
Perfect. Let me take that. Let me build up that big bro. I think big bro is a mentality. It's not just about the team that you're used to playing. It's not just about a rival. It's the fact that set your watch to it like clockwork. We expect this team to melt down. I cherish this team's meltdowns, but in a non-biased manner, we expect this team to melt down. Okay, so we kind of got a little bit of taste of it, but I wasn't surprised because this is something that we were building towards for weeks. So Miami, right, this here garment that just so happened to be on my body once we did said segment. I just feel like the bulletin board material, being on the road, you have a quarterback who is experienced versus a quarterback who's not experienced, but we're not going to sit up here and sing the praises. Well, I'm not going to sing the praises of Marcel Reed's big game experience because, well, shit, I didn't even mention the game that they won off a missed extra point and the
Notre
defensive
Dame.
lineman got tackled, you call it. So we're talking about an 8-4 football team with a what are they, a 3-4 seed? Just call it how I see it. Bias aside, I think that if Miami's able to run the football, so let's get back to the solid football part. I think if Miami's able to run the football, which we have seen at times, but not consistently, the Malachi Tony or bust thing is concerning, but it's like, all right, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. They didn't have a team that was able to really stop that. So if you're Miami, why would you want to go move away from that? We saw when they tried to get cute in some of these games, Notre Dame game and the Louisville game, it kind of backfired. I think they have the trench play. I think they have the best player on the field. Will we agree? Is that crazy to say?
It's
Yeah.
50-50.
Ruben Bain, best player on the field.
Yeah.
I'm
with Vance.
Tony?
Like
Y'all prefer
50-50.
Cassius Howell? Okay.
I'm about to say I'll go Cassius Howell for sure.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's not a blazing hot take, but I think they have the best player on the field. I think they have the better quarterback. A&M has a better defense.
I love your confidence in that sentence. I don't know why Josh or Nick didn't stop you on that, but
I have a lot of things I got to say. I ain't gonna
Stop me on what? Wait, stop me on what?
You
Stop me on
think
what? What'd I say?
Miami has the better quarterback?
Yeah, I do. Is that crazy to say?
One dude has. Hey man, we seen 2 weeks in a row one dude melt like candle wax. So I'm not,
Wait, who melted like candle wax? Who was that?
We talking about Mr. Marcellus. So like I said, I know
I didn't see more than 2 weeks, but that's the recency of it. Like you said, that's what we. I mean, look at resumes. Like if this is a rich tapestry of resumes and not just a few weeks, are we gonna say we would rather have Marcel Reed than Carson Beck? I know they're not exactly, a Lamborghini and Ferrari. I understand, but
that's
that's
a Honda
crazy.
Accord versus a Hyundai, nigga. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Kia. That's a Stinger versus a Accord. That's a K5 versus an Accord. They're both, good cars. They'll last, but they aren't anyone's first.
He ain't getting no holes with either one of them.
All right, hold on now. Nick, you better check him a Honda game. We get plenty of bitches now.
no cap.
Oh, I'm driving a Accord as we speak. Who dissed me? I felt some type of way.
Yeah, I must say, I got in the court. Okay, so I'll let you go, Nick, but I didn't know I was breaking news by saying that. Now, this may seem a little tainted coming from me with my track record and the ethnic makeup of said individuals in question. But I don't think I'm exactly breaking news that I think Carson Beck is better than Marcel Reed. I also don't think Marcel Reed is very good, but that's neither here nor there, Nicholas.
I mean, I just want to go back to when you said that big bro mentality is something you don't lose. When I look at Miami, I think they've been little bro in a sense of college football dominance for a minute now. You think about last season, you lose 2 games to Syracuse and Georgia Tech to keep you out of the college football playoff, even though you had a Heisman winning quarterback, and then you come into this year and you're praying to the committee to get in because you lost games to what was it? Damn, who they lose to this year? SMU and Louisville this year. Yeah, SMU and Louisville this year. Games you're not supposed to lose. And now you want me to turn around and have faith in you to win a game that you're not supposed to win after you lost the games you're supposed to win? I just can't do it. It's so like for me, that says, I guess all I'm saying is give me Elko over Cristobal, and that's why I'm taking Reed over Beck as well.
I just don't understand how you said the remark about the O-lineman saying that they play Ruben Bain every week in the SEC, man. They played the weakest schedule in the SEC. That's why they are where they are right now. And it's been brought up. They're not even supposed to be 11-1. They're supposed to have a much worse record than that. So for us to go into this game, they didn't play that much harder of a schedule than Miami played, in my opinion. You listen, I feel as if it's 2 evenly matched teams. And it's really just going to come down to a few plays. And those plays, I think it's going to be made by the quarterbacks, but it could be special teams. It could be a punt return, a kick return. Both teams have that capability to break the game open in that type of way. I just feel as if A&M is not superior to Miami. That's very, very, very crazy to say that act like A&M is big bro. They're not big bro.
I don't think that. I don't think. I mean, not to speak for Nick, he grown ass man. I don't think he said that A&M is a big bro to Miami. I think what I heard that Miami is a perennial underachiever in our college football lifetime.
Indeed.
You can't say that, bro. You cannot
think-
say that.
Well,
What do
so
you
is
mean?
A&M.
What
That's
is
my whole argument.
A&M not on the same type
I'm
of?
about to say, so is A&M.
Since
Yeah,
when have
A&M ain't no damn body.
outside of this season, when have we ever said, "Oh yeah, Texas A&M got a
I was about to say,
legitimate college
When they
football
had all them
playoff?"
5-stars and they paid $20 million for a roster and then got
Jimbo
Jimbo
Fisher.
55.
That was what.
so the
2020?
first time,
That was like 2 years ago.
but we all had the same concerns about Texas Tech because we thought that we could buy our way to a chip. That's the first time we've seen something like that work. Miami is consistently one of the heaviest bankroll and resource programs in the country. Talking about USC, like name, like I said, name a program.
They a
out the
blue
Oregon,
blood. They a college football blue blood,
one of
and
the
they ain't won
bluest of the
shit.
bloods.
Wait,
Yeah,
who's the blue blood?
Miami.
Miami.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm fine with that.
So no, I feel that. I'm picking up what you put down, Nick, because like I said, I was looking at the last year's bracket, because I think everybody's picked, but I've gone chalk so far in all my first round picks. All the first round picks last year were chalk as well. And like I said, if you're looking for either your 8-9 game or your 10-7 game, that's where your upset is gonna happen. But I just don't even for this to be a 10-7 game, I feel that there is a serious disparity in terms of confidence going into this game. And the team that's coming off 2 losses, that being the team that probably should feel a bit more confident, is only crazy in retrospect when the other team probably shouldn't even been in. Honestly,
Josh, I can't let you do that, bro.
Wait a second.
They 2 losses
Wait.
came a month ago, my nigga. Like they've won 4 games since. That was middle of the season. So they're playing just as good as football, probably better football than Texas A&M for the past month. I can't let you just say that this happened in early November, late October, Halloween, my guy. Like honestly, Miami has been playing really, 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 really
one
good
team
football,
knew that they
bro.
were going to the playoff. One team almost expected to get to not. That's what I'm saying in terms of.
Okay, you're right.
Wait a
second. You're right. You're right about that. But what I'm saying is, they're playing just as good as football. If you put Miami, if you would have put them in any other conference, this would have even been a question. I don't know why they were the team to get left out, but that's the next segment. So I'll just wait for the next segment, and I'll keep going. You
what Nick said in terms of what Nick and TJ referenced in terms of big bro mentality.
Yeah, Nick was right. That wasn't untrue. That wasn't untrue. Let me just.
I just think that in this platform of game, I don't necessarily disagree with you. Like I said, A&M, Miami probably been playing better football against maybe lesser competition. No ACC slander right now. We hope Memphis gets in. But I'm just talking about A&M had national championship aspirations. They had bye aspirations before going into Texas. Like I said, versus Miami.
Who aspirations?
By having a bye in the first round playoff. I mean in the first round of the playoff.
How they was gonna get that?
Nigga, being number 3 in the country, and bro, we just seen even if they go undefeated into the SEC championship game, obviously they lose. If they're 3, they're still getting the bye. Obviously, we just seen them not even drop Ohio State.
Who played in the SEC championship game?
Alabama.
Yeah. But both of those teams had a loss, and I'm just saying in this theoretical scenario, A&M doesn't have a loss.
Okay. Wait. How many of those teams did A&M play?
Brother, I'm not Greg Saint. I don't make the schedule. I'm just talking in specific.
That sounds crazy, right?
I'm just saying A&M didn't play any of those teams.
I'm just in reference to the mentality and mindset going into this game, and maybe it's overblown. Maybe they probably
A&M played Sanford 2 weeks ago, my nigga. Let's call it what it is. A spade is a spade. Why are you playing Sanford in week 13?
None of that knocks off my point that one team expected to be here and one team had to pray on a whim to get here. And it's different mentality coming to this game. And what you're saying about points, but none of that directly disputes or invalidates what I'm trying to say. And I think that does matter in playing a game where talent is relatively equal. One team, okay, we've been bullshitting recently. This is the time to ramp it up versus one team wiping the damn sweat off their forehead. Okay, shit, we made it. We probably got folks last year, and honestly, and I hate to put a program like Miami, but they didn't satisfied with being in this bitch.
No.
Wait a second. Can we talk about that? You said expected to get in. Can we talk about that for a second? You know who else expected to get in that's not in?
Who?
Do I have to say it?
Got to be Notre Dame, huh?
Didn't they expect to get in? Oh, okay. So when you say expected to get in, do you mean from a standpoint of arrogance, or like our football has determined that we will get in, or they should put us in? Is that, I just want to clarify, because you saying expecting, Notre Dame expected to get in, but they were never getting in. When Florida State got put out that hole, they were expecting to get in, but they were never getting in that playoff. So I just want to clarify what you mean.
I'm just saying, I mean, in terms of resume and conference membership, and I mean, just purely safety of our spot going into the last week of the season. Like I said, Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman had all that damn Beijing on his head, trying to cap for why Notre Dame need to be in without beating the ranked team, starting the year 0-2. He knew that they wasn't getting in. You feel what I'm saying?
What's their best win? Like resume.
Again, sure. I'm just saying the safety of their inclusion in this playoff. I don't disagree with what you're saying. But again, one team knew they were getting in, and it's probably I'm not going to speak for them because I don't got a lot of confidence in them. One team basically fucked off the last 2 weeks of the season in expectation that this is when the real football is being played. And one team, like I said, is glad on a prayer to win that they got it. I think that affects the mentality going into the game.
Yeah, I think it does affect it because they've been playing on life support for the past 4 weeks. Why not do it now in this game? I think they're going to know what it takes to come out on fire. I mean, listen, it's a playoff game, so that both teams should be, ready to tee off once this game kicks off. I don't know.
Wait, Josh, are you using that to argue which team you think is going to win? Or are you just saying that just to say that?
I mean, man, he ain't got exposed me like that. I'm just saying I'm just saying in terms of mentality, like, how am I trying to put it? How do I want to put it? Miami was basically what I had last year with.
Okay.
Obviously, I think you're in this bracket to win that chance. If Miami loses this game, we made the playoff. The recruits is proving the ACC is not a down conference, whatever. If A&M loses this game after getting up to being undefeated with 11 weeks in the season, being third in the country, that's a disappointment for sure. So I think level expectation plays a major in terms of how we come out in the game.
Okay, disappointment in what regard?
How the season started?
Because this team just had their best season ever and didn't even. Okay, this team had their best season ever and they didn't even sniff the SEC championship game. Is that not disappointing?
Damn, think that one loss away, not even sniffing. Goddamn.
Were they one loss away?
Yes.
Because I thought Ole Miss
I think they were still involved in that Ole Miss Alabama scenario. Maybe not in the last week, but like regardless, I think that they were like one loss away. Like I said, maybe that they were to continue in the last week of the season, but they only got one loss on the year. So that point being that, so yeah, I don't dispute necessarily with either one of y'all. I just think that one team, like I said, one team has a better, not better resume because they had played rescheduled. One team has looked better consistently throughout the year than the other.
And that's A&M. You're saying that
for sure.
Okay.
And I don't think that. I mean, and I don't think that it to be disregarded. I don't think we could throw out 11 games of tape versus the last 2 weeks. I think that's the definition of recency bias.
Well, okay, that also cuts both.
Leave him alone, bro. Go to next segment, bro. No. He sound crazy, TJ. I agree, bro. But just like stop making him.
I'm just saying that cuts both ways. You saying
treat this nigga like a show monkey, bro? Please, just let him be wrong, bro.
Damn.
All right, yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead.
I digress. Like I said, I just took Caleb and Luke and got fried in the group chat. So I'm really out here just standing on business. And based on this picture y'all put in the group chat, I got some eye candy to go look at. So yeah, we gotta wrap this up.